Okay, I'm starting a new series called My Week in Trucking. This is a look back at the week prior where we talk about loads, compensation, road footage, home time, maybe even a little sleeper life talk. This is for week number 47 of the year 2022, which ended on November 26th. It's actually my first week back at Cheeseman LLC. Cheeseman LLC is an OTR LTL carrier. That's kind of a little unusual combination. Do a lot less than a load. They have regional plus, over the road, and they also have local drivers. But I am an OTR LTL driver. Absolutely love it. Great company, great culture. Let's get to the video coming up. First load that I ran, as soon as I got off the airplane, got in my truck, I took a empty trailer from Greer, South Carolina to Kinston, North Carolina. When I got to Kinston, North Carolina, I quickly inventoried the trailer, made sure the items that are supposed to be in it were in it, and then I headed for Fort Recovery, Ohio. This was just a terminal-to-terminal load. My next load was a 10-stop load out of Fort Recovery, Ohio. I love multi-stop loads. Sometimes when you have a multi-stop load, they got to be creative about how they put it in the trailer. Sometimes it's stacked up on top. Sometimes they put these bars across so they can stack it and separate it. And then you have to have a forklift to be able to get that down. That's not something you're able to do on your own. Now, when they do stack loads, they do use load straps to be sure that they don't move. There can be a wide variety of things in the trailer. There can be forklifts, there can be pallet jacks, there can be parts, there can be batteries. Generally, the trailer is loaded in the order that it's going to have to be taken off. LTL sometimes results in a lot of different backing situations. There's a difference in the way we have to back here than when we back otherwise. Now, the trailer still moves the same. Well, the International is a little different than the Kenworth or the Peterbilt, but the backing situations are not rushed. There's no one else waiting for that dock when you're backing in. You've got plenty of time. You can do as many pull-ups as you need to. You can get out and look as many times as you want. There's no holdup. You don't have anybody trying to get in that dock before you or cut you off. As this series progresses, I plan to bring my 360 camera so I can get it out to give you a better idea so you can get the look at all the backing from different angles. And you can see the things that we have to avoid, like trucks or broke down vans or objects sitting on the ground, fences. A lot of different things that you have to watch out for when you're backing in. But I tell you what, each back is a challenge and you got plenty of time to do it. There's no reason to be rushed. And every time you finish one of them, you feel pretty accomplished. This was one of my more challenging backs. The end result is I've got to have the truck to fit in that red box. Due to the fact that that is a state highway, it is very busy and it is not going to be possible to back in from the road. There are several vehicles around, and you cannot pull in the grass because their septic tank is where that cone was at. That really does add to the challenge. You have to do a back. It's like a double 90 or a 180. You've got to bring your truck and turn it completely around and get it into the location without tearing up their grass and hitting any objects. Obviously, once you've done it once, it becomes easier the next time that you have to do it. Imagine how boring it'd be if every space was just the right size and easy to get in and out of. One of the challenges a lot of drivers face is finding parking for the night. One advantage that we have and other companies have is you can park a lot of times at shippers and receivers. Even if you're not delivering there, there's a lot of shippers and receivers that we can park at, and it comes in very handy. I've even heard a couple of companies that are advertising on XM radio that have advertised about their large parking network. I believe that's going to be one of the selling points in the future for truck driving companies. As in the case of this receiver, they've already closed for the day. They're not open. So I'm coming in to deliver. I won't be able to deliver till morning anyway, so I'm not as rushed. I've got plenty of time to get there. Obviously, my favorite place to park is when I get to home time. I was only out for 5 days this time. I started out on Saturday, made it home by Wednesday afternoon, which made it great timing to be able to indulge in all that turkey on Thanksgiving. Here at Cheeseman, we use the Pilot Flying J network. So I got fuel at Blacksburg, South Carolina, Jeffersonville, Ohio, and Byron, Georgia. We use an app called FuelBook. It's the same app that many companies use. And using FuelBook, you try to select the least expensive fuel along your route. Taking a quick look at my logs for the week, I had 2,195 dispatched miles, 2,199 logged miles, and 2,202 odometer miles. I started driving on Saturday and I ended on Wednesday afternoon, so a total of 5 days. Then took 4 days off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, before rolling again the next week. I have 2 separate pay statements because the first day wound up falling on its own pay statement due to the fact that our cutoff is Saturday night. The only thing on the first pay statement is the simple run from GSP Terminal to Kinston, North Carolina, 330 miles for $185. Moving on to the second pay statement, which would include Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That would be week 48. It starts out, it has holiday pay. We're paid $150 for the holiday of Thanksgiving. The second load was the load from Kinston, North Carolina to Fort Recovery Terminal in Ohio. That was 654 miles and the load paid $400. That comes out to 61.2 cents per mile. That multi-stop load out of Fort Recovery, Ohio that ended in Tifton, Georgia was 1,209 miles, paid $1,044. That comes out to 86.4 cents per mile. At the end of every settlement is a box called the settlement box. Let's take a look at it now. And I left to become a lease operator, and then I came back. So looking at the current period, I had $185 in empty miles, $101 in empty miles, because remember there were 2 settlements there that I put together. $10.62 for loaded miles, $33 in hazmat, $33 in handling and securement, that's putting the blocks in or taking them out, $150 holiday pay, $214 for stop pay. Total of $1,780, 2,194 miles, that comes to 81 cents a mile for $1,780 gross. I know some of you got to be looking at it going, wait a minute, how can each run pay so much different per mile? 56 cents per mile, 61 cents per mile, 86 cents per mile. How can they all pay so much differently? The compensation plan is on the web. It's very easy to locate. Miles get paid differently depending on where they're at. In the terminal zone, they're paid the lowest. In the green area, they're paid a little more. In the red area, they're paid the most. Same with stops. We get paid for stops. We get paid for handling. We get paid for everything that we do. An important thing I should note is at the bottom, you will notice that I have chaptered these videos. The reason I'm chaptering videos, it makes it easy for you to skip the parts that you don't want to watch. Some people may not want to watch road footage. Some people may not want to watch backing. Some people might not want to watch compensation. You might want to pop to whatever you want to see. You can do it. It's flexible. You can have it your way. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. I'm going to also still go back. I've got to get these other ones knocked out, and I'm working on it. Got some of the footage done. I've got some of the screens done. I just need to do some of the voiceovers. That's the hardest part for me, is doing the voiceovers and doing the talking head part. I'm not real good at that part. But anyway, make sure you're enjoying every day at work.